In December 2021, Thomas had chosen to spend the celebrations in Morro Sound, California. While in the northern state, Thomas fostered an affection for the sea. Anything to do with the water he delighted in, whether it was fishing, plunging, or bodyboarding. He cherished the outside and the excitement of experience. At 41 years of age, he worked with his dad Scott in Sacramento. On December 23, 2021, Tomas left his home in Sacramento and advanced 300 miles south to Morro. Straight, a well-known coastline city. Morro Sound is generally renowned for Morro Rock, a huge volcanic stone jutting from the mouth of the harbor, arriving at 576 ft over the outer layer of the ocean. The sandy ocean side and perspectives across the cove and the transcending Morro Stone are a genuine draw for guests, similar to the surfing and bodyboarding. The next day, on Christmas Eve, Thomas made a beeline for the water from his mom's home. He was anticipating bodyboarding that morning prior to enjoying the remainder of the day with his mama. Also, sibling and planning for Christmas Day. Yet unfortunately, he couldn't have ever the opportunity to open his presents the following day. As he pulled on his wetsuit and jogged across the sand, his destiny had been fixed. He made a beeline for towards what is known as the pit, arranged close to the foundation of Morro Rock. The pit is somewhat off in an unexpected direction and is an extraordinary riding spot. The waves in Morro Sound are greatest in the colder time of year, generally averaging 6 ft in level. It was to be an elating morning before Tomas settled down for the celebrations ahead. Albeit the water was cold, his wetsuit before long warmed him as he entered the water at around 10:30 that morning. There were different surfers previously riding the waves. When he rode out, the circumstances were very poor. As a matter of fact, they were depicted by some as unpleasant, yet they didn't prevent the gave surfers from a Christmas Eve paddle. Tomas was having a ball as the waves moved him to shore. Once more, however, something was advancing along the shoreline. A marine hunter, a sharp tracker that was generally keeping watch for dinner seals and ocean otters, are normal in the waters at Morro Cove. They give food to extraordinary white sharks as they dart in and out of the ocean growth and kelp woods underneath the waves. An incredible white shark swam beneath the surface above. It could make out the framework of 41-year-old Tomas. As he rode his bodyboard, the water was turbid from late precipitation. The perceivability was poor. Whether it was an instance of mixed-up character or whether it considered Thomas's prey, it chose without even a second's pause to draw in its unexpectedly destroyed upwards, its tail driving it through the water section with power and speed. Its most noteworthy resource was its component of shock. As it came surprisingly close to the negligent bodyboarder, it opened its jaws and made contact, fueling into Tomas with such power that he was sent flying from his body load, that he didn't have the foggiest idea what had hit him. What's more, as the teeth shut down around his head and shoulder, the power was insufferable. The harm brought about by the chomp was destroying something that Tomas could not have possibly had the option to harp on, as the assault was over in practically no time. This is the most probable situation, as no one saw the assault. No one knows whether Tomas had the option to retaliate, or whether the harm was crushing to such an extent that he was dead inside the space of seconds. The incomparable White delivered his grass plunge beneath the surface yet again and came back around it, returned adjacent to the stricken bodyline, its head rising up out of the water, getting through the surface as it clamped down, this time around Thomas's chest. Then, as fast as it showed up, the shark swam away without taking Tomas with it. He currently lay oblivious in the water, face down, actually appended to the lower leg line to his bodyboard. Rebecca Fmear was additionally riding that morning, as she was hanging tight for her next wave. She saw a radiant blue bodyboard bouncing about in the water. It was being hauled toward the shore with each wave, yet something was keeping it down. She pulled up close by the bodyboard. What's more, pulled at the center. When the body turned over, her heart jumped as she understood this wasn't a suffocate casualty. This was a shark assault casualty. She pulled him to the shore and yelled at certain individuals near the ocean. They were strolling along the sand, taking in the view, when Rebecca sprinkled wildly in the shallows, hauling Thomas's body onto dry land. Others raced to Rebecca's guide. However, unfortunately, Thomas had previously capitulated to his wounds. Crisis administrations were called. What's more, they showed up a couple of moments later at 10:48. Paramedics articulated him dead. At the sky then came the tragic truth of illuminating his family. They got the most terrible call of their lives on Christmas Eve, a period that ought to be spent praising with family and companions. Following the examination on Tomas, the proof brought up additional issues about the particulars of the assault. The answers: Tomas had been chomped on the right shoulder, right half of his chest pit. Furthermore, on the head on his chest, there were two particular curves where the shark had arrived at corrected his hold and clamped down a second time. The sweep of these bends was 16 in or 40 ki. What's more, huge chomp that prompted his less than ideal passing, as is many times the situation with sharks. A tooth had become removed from its jaws during the assault and was found in Thomas's back. DNA proof left by the shark decided it to have been an extraordinary white, where the shark had clenched down on Thomas' head. He had endured cracks on the right half of the skull. Incredible white sharks can clamp down with a power of 4,000 psi, permitting them to pulverize their prey, as well as cut open skin and muscle from their sharp teeth. Thomas' ribs on both the left. Furthermore, right sides were likewise squashed. The coroner detailed that the reason for not entirely settled to be from gruff power injury that required his life in practically no time. Morro Cove Harbor watch shut down the ocean side promptly following the assault. It returned the next day. Be that as it may, individuals were cautioned to avoid the water for 24 hours. They took a boat out to get the water free from some other swimmers or surfers. The circumstances were very harsh. Weighty precipitation had stirred the oceans up, diminishing perceivability in the water. Cloudy water is normal. At the point when shark assaults happen, specialists frequently allude to the instance of mixed-up personality, particularly when perceivability is poor. The last time a shark assault was accounted for in St. Louis Abiso District was 2 years before, when a surface was harmed at Montana Dioro. It was 18 years sooner. At the point when a casualty occurred in 2003, a lady who was swimming with ocean lions in Avala Oceanside was gone after and killed. Human shark connections that have happened along the shoreline of California have been recorded. Since 1950, cooperations are considered any episode where a shark has come into contact with an individual kayak or surfboard, unwarranted, regardless of whether they cause injury. Between 1950, also 2021, there were 201 occurrences in California. 107 of those caused injury, with 15 bringing about fatalities. The majority of those episodes included extraordinary white sharks. They are attracted to the California coast because of the wealth of prey. Like ocean lions and otter, the warming oceans, because of an Earth-wide temperature boost, are bringing them further north along the west shore of the U.S. than at any other time.